In the land of Canaan lived a young man named Joseph, the beloved son of Jacob. Out of all his 12 sons, Jacob loved Joseph the most, and he made this clear by giving him a beautiful coat of many colors, a garment so unique and vibrant that it set Joseph apart everywhere he went. But Joseph was more than just favored. He was chosen. God had placed something extraordinary inside him, and soon the signs of that calling began to unfold. One night, Joseph dreamed a dream that felt more real than anything he had ever experienced. He saw himself in a field with his brothers, binding sheaves of grain. Suddenly, Joseph's sheaf stood upright, while the sheaves of his brothers bowed down before it. Excited and innocent, he rushed to share the dream with his family. But instead of celebrating, his brothers grew angry. "Do you really think you will rule over us?" they snapped. Joseph didn't understand their anger. He only knew that God was trying to tell him something. Then came another dream, this one even more astonishing. In the sky, Joseph saw the sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowing down before him. When he told his father and brothers, Jacob rebuked him, saying, "Will your mother and I and your brothers truly bow before you?" Yet deep in his heart, Jacob wondered what this dream might mean. But Joseph's brothers weren't wondering. They were raging. The more they watched Joseph wear his colorful coat, the more jealousy ate at them. And one day, when Joseph was sent to check on them in the fields, they seized their moment. Their hatred boiled over. They whispered, "Here comes the dreamer. What will become of his dreams if he never goes back home?" They tore off his coat and threw him into a dry pit, cold, alone, terrified. Then, instead of killing him, they sold him to passing Ishmaelite traders who carried Joseph away to the land of Egypt as a slave. When Jacob heard Joseph was gone, he wept bitterly. Joseph's dream suddenly seemed shattered, hopeless, impossible. But God had not forgotten Joseph. In Egypt, Joseph served in the house of Potiphar, a high-ranking official. God's favor was upon him, and everything Joseph touched prospered. Potiphar noticed this and placed Joseph in charge of his entire household. But once again, Joseph faced injustice. Falsely accused, he was thrown into prison, another dark pit, another place where dreams should have died. Yet even in chains, God's presence never left him. In prison, Joseph interpreted dreams for 2 men, Pharaoh's cupbearer and his baker. His interpretations came true exactly as he said. But Joseph remained forgotten, until one day, Pharaoh himself had a disturbing dream no one could explain. That's when the cupbearer remembered. He told Pharaoh, "There is a young Hebrew who can interpret dreams." Joseph was summoned from the prison and brought before the most powerful man in the world. Pharaoh described his dreams: 7 fat cows devoured by 7 thin ones, 7 good heads of grain swallowed by 7 scorched ones. With calm confidence, Joseph revealed the meaning. Egypt would experience 7 years of abundance, followed by 7 years of devastating famine. Then he added, "God is showing Pharaoh what he is about to do." Pharaoh was amazed. This wasn't just interpretation. This was wisdom. This was divine insight. In a moment that can only be described as miraculous, Joseph was lifted from prison and placed second in command over the entire kingdom. From slave to ruler, from prisoner to palace, Joseph's dreams were finally beginning to unfold. Years later, during the worldwide famine, Joseph's brothers came to Egypt seeking food. They bowed before him just as his dreams had foretold, though they did not recognize their own brother. But Joseph knew them. He remembered the pit, the betrayal, the pain. Yet instead of revenge, he chose forgiveness. Through tears, he revealed himself to them and said, one of the most powerful words in the Bible, You intended it for evil, but God intended it for good, to save many lives." In the end, Joseph's dreams were never about power. They were about purpose. God had been preparing him, not just to rise, but to rescue. Not just to dream, but to fulfill a destiny far greater than he could ever imagine. And Joseph's story reminds us today, even when life throws you into pits, prisons, and painful places, even when people betray you, even when your dreams seem delayed or destroyed, God's plan is still working behind the scenes, and what He has spoken over your life will come to pass.